Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanger. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in everyone to Undrafted Uncensored, where there is no Colin today. I stopped the music on time. I hit the post. I am the man.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Sorry about that. So,
I have a frog in my throat. His
man,
name is Patrick Mahomes.
wow, that was fun.
Well, give me a chance to do a Kermit the Frog impression, so I'm happy.
Hey, you.
It's not easy being green.
Oh, such a good song. Damn it! I had a story and then I started coughing. I lost it. It was a good story.
Was it about Colin? Because that'd be
Well,
funny.
we have breaking news at least. I mean, we don't get to do that very often on this show.
Sweet, let's break it.
Just announced on ESPN, Sean Payton has said they are keeping Zach Wilson. The Denver Broncos will carry 3 quarterbacks.
Ooh, hold on. Did he say that, or did he say they're keeping Zach Wilson?
Sean Payton says Zach Wilson will be one of 3 quarterbacks who will be on Denver's 53-player roster.
Okay. Ooh, well, you know what? That doesn't guarantee that one of those is Jarrett Stidham. It probably is, most likely. But you see guys getting released who've had good games in the NFL as starters. You know, Mike White, who's one of my favorite joke quarterbacks. You know, just sign Mike White. He's the best quarterback in the league, right? That's all he does is win. You know.
Your boy Minshew's doing pretty well over there in Vegas.
Could you imagine actually putting Mike White back with Zach Wilson?
Oh my God!
I don't know if they got along or didn't get along or whatever, but that'd be really funny. But Wilson's now the established backup, and it's like, wow, how did Zach Wilson end up ahead of Mike White in NFL circles? Because everyone thought that he was on the trajectory, those couple of games with the Jets, and then the rest is history.
Well, I think the Giants kind of took away a lot of that momentum too with what's his name, the pasta guy.
Vic Fangio.
No, the quarterback.
The meatballs and the pasta.
I can't remember who it was now.
Oh, it's Tommy DeVito.
Yes, thank you.
Took me a second. I was like, I know this name. Hold on, let me remember to remember everything besides fine dining and breathing.
Let me find the relevance machine here for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's the irrelevant one now. So let me go find him in there.
Yep. Pull up the improbability drive. If you've read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
So 16 for 25 today, 251 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 22 yards rushing. He almost got himself his own touchdown. He dove for the end zone and just a little short.
Just couldn't get it.
He didn't look bad. I mean, we all know there's talent in there, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We all know there's something in there. There's a reason he was the number 2 pick.
But, there was talent in Paxton Lynch too. It takes a lot of talent and athleticism to make it. It wasn't to take a chip out of a brick with a football. With leather and air, you made a mark on a brick. That's kind of insane. And the fact that he did it while throwing it away on 4th down, it's so good. The talent was never in question. There's plenty of talented quarterbacks that can't do it. Look at Jamarcus Russell. He had a great arm. He was a very athletic guy. He just got fat and didn't care. And so it's nice to see that Zach Wilson has a head on his shoulders and is actually able to function as a quarterback. He's dropping back. He's making concise throws. He doesn't look lost out there. It's almost like his offensive coordinator was not Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh, that's a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing.
Oh, AA Ron's all about it.
Yeah. That's different. He doesn't need – he is the offensive coordinator.
Touche.
Yeah, he is the hype.
So, I mean, I guess since the news broke and we're already on the topic, 4-0 preseason, something to kind of hang your hat on. I mean, at least everybody's on the level with other people, I guess, is kind of what I can take from that. It's at least your ones match up with your ones, your twos match up with your twos, and your threes match up with your threes. There's no real disparity there.
Yeah, it does make it harder to predict the final roster though, because you actually have the players, and you can't go 4-0 unless you play in the Hall of Fame game. So that's 3-0. Although the Bears did go 4-0.
I'm glad you said that. That's my bad. I don't know why I was thinking 4-0.
No, because that's how it used to be for so long. It was 4 preseason games, and going 4-0 in the preseason used to actually almost spell doom.
Dude, that's like me saying the Houston Astros are in the National League.
Are they not?
No, they haven't been for a while.
Okay, yeah, I did. I'm the wrong guy to make that joke too. Yeah, it's like the Seattle Seahawks in the AFC West.
It's like saying I took the bus to Celebrity Sports Center.
It's like, man, beyond the Staples Center, you can see America.
Is it raining over there, by the way? Or is that just a fan?
Maybe. Oh, there may be a fan. Here, should I kill the fan?
I don't know. I could just hear something. I thought it was raining, so I was like,
let's see.
Prepare myself.
Did that do it?
No, it's still going.
Okay. Turn the fan back on. It's hot here. Well, then it's either we're just gonna pretend that it's me. Blame me anyway because it's funnier that way. Whatever the issue, I caused it.
So, I mean, we've seen the battles going on and on the roster. Speaking of only 53 guys, and Damari Mathis had to be carted off the field today.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I think it was the first play of the game. Well, after the first offensive or defensive, it was the second snap. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was carted off with an ankle injury, and basically it was kind of like what happened to TD, where he was engaged with somebody and somebody fell onto his ankle, causing it to roll and bend in a way it's not supposed to. So, looking forward to that, but
I'm not.
He has to set up a job now because he was already on the bubble anyway.
I feel like that's tough because sometimes injuries like that, like they can't just cut you while you're hurt. They have to wait till a certain bit of time. He might have saved his job by getting himself an IR spot.
That's true.
But at the same time, like he was in that competition with Riley Moss and Levi Wallace for who's going to be opposite Pat Surtain, because we know Jaquan McMillan is going to be the nickelback because he was fantastic last year. So that kind of solidifies it. We're going to get the second coming of Jason Sehorn. Or they're just going to go with the vet Levi Wallace, I guess. That could be it. But that's really sad because that was one of the more interesting competitions of guys that you really haven't seen too much from. Like you've seen Mathis start a bunch of games, but you've never really seen much from him one way or the other. You haven't seen a bunch of bad or a bunch of good. He's just kind of been solid, which we got used to that for 10 years with the guy across from Champ Bailey, always just kind of being solid, but never really being great, which is fine. I'm okay with that to an extent. You don't have to have Talib and Roby and then Chris Harris in the middle. But, if you can get away with that, I'll take it.
I mean, anything to solidify that defense. But, yeah, I agree with you, dude. That was a good battle to watch. And, I mean, Mathis was – he always seemed just a step behind Riley Moss, though. Like
he did.
Like, Riley Moss showed up and then oh crap, I got to start keeping up with this guy, and he almost was, but then Riley would just step up just a little bit more. It seemed like
He's like, I remember my dad told me a story about why he doesn't go to racquetball tournaments.
Okay.
He entered one, and he went up against this like 60, 70, old fucking guy that was so good at just placing the ball that he had him diving all over the court, running around, using up all of his athleticism because this guy just knew the tricks. That's kind of what it feels like with Riley Moss. Like Damari Mathis is more talented. He'd be a better, if you just kind of saw the eye test. But Moss he's kind of scrappy. He kind of reminds me of Josie Jewell, which is funny because they went to the same college. But like that kind of style, not quite as noticeably slow as Josie Jewell. Because Josie was just so it hurt the team. It really did. We loved the guy. He was great. But yeah, that's kind of what he reminds me of. Is a scrappy, solid, like might not be a starter on every team, but he's a starter on our team type guy.
Yeah.
And Jason Seymour. So, Kaka! Is that what Hawkeyes fans say?
I don't know.
I don't actually know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do they just really like the character from the Avengers?
Yes. Fans of. Why can I see his face and not remember his name now?
Jeremy Renner.
Thank you. That joke died when I did that. All right, let's not do that one anymore.
It was, it could have been a cool show. The ending was fun.
I didn't watch it.
Dude, there's been so many of those Disney Plus shows. Like, they're fun for what they are. If you liked the Netflix series, then you will like Hawkeye.
I gotta watch it.
Like if you watch Daredevil or Punisher, those shows are great. Highly recommend those. Okay. Oh, Daredevil, I think is better, but it introduces the Punisher and it brings it all together. So I like both of them a lot, but you get a little bit of a tie-in to the Netflix stuff in that show. So that's the tie-in to Hawkeye. Definitely not Riley Moss or Josie Jewell.
So week 1 comes around. We already know our starter is Bo Nix. Now that he is officially the starter, do we have new expectations for Bo?
No. Because I feel like Bo's expectations were always going to be just be solid, be decent. Don't screw it up, Don't turn into Captain Checkdown in Case Keenum where you're always throwing to the running back. But don't become the early iterations of Zach Wilson where you're just making terrible decisions. Because the comps you always see with Bo Nix are Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Or it's like Trevor Siemian, Kyle Orton, think of a non-Broncos quarterback, Chad Pennington.
There you go.
That guy, just not athletic, not cannon for an arm, just very accurate and can get it there hopefully enough. So the expectations for Bo, I think it's the same. It's run the offense. It's be a game manager. That's like people talk about that like it's a fucking 4-letter word. But like Peyton Manning was a game manager. All right. Tom Brady was a game manager. Drew Brees was a game manager. Guys that manage the game. They keep you off the field. They keep their team in a good position, even if it's just running the ball on 3rd down like Gary Kubiak and Peyton Manning would do and punting the ball because your defense is great. They're managing that game. If he can just do that, then we're fine. And I feel like that's kind of been the expectation all offseason because we can't really expect too much more, especially with the cast around him.
So with what you've seen this preseason now, we'll just keep it on this kind of same topic. And now that we know it's Bo Nix, now that you've actually seen him perform at a quasi NFL level, does that change your feelings on the season as far as where they stand with that 5.5 wins?
I mean, I think I'm hitting the over on the 5.5. at this point, we were talking about it a little bit before. How many did I even have? 1, 2, 3,
Get 6.
4, 5, 6. Yep. Okay. So yeah, I already was hitting the over. So
On Sanders' receipt right here.
nice. Yeah, I got mine too because
Nice.
we can't let Colin be the only one that takes notes. He's just gonna,
I feel like he manipulates things sometimes.
I don't think he actually does, but I think it's funny to say that he does.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep saying that he's manipulating all of the results. We could say he's manipulating the results of the fantasy league, but he keeps losing.
Are you still happy with that 6?
Honestly, yeah, I think so. Like, the team still isn't great. There's not. Sorry, I'm going to plug in my laptop here. There's not a lot of, top end talent on this team. There it is. But they feel scrappier than I thought they would look. Like, it looks like literally the team is bigger than the sum of its parts,
Okay.
And I think that just the team in general, the way that Sean Payton will run an offense without Russell Wilson holding the ball too long and just insisting on throwing deep all the time, I think it can work better. It really is going to depend on the defense. Can Vance Joseph keep that defense consistent and steady? Because towards the end of the season, oh man, they were looking sweet. But towards the beginning of the season, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, you make it sound like they gave up 70 points in a game or something.
What? No, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm still mad that the Dolphins didn't kick that field goal. Like, why would you not take the record? I don't understand. Like, we don't feel better because of it. Like I said, during the game, there is no mercy in this dojo. I would want my team to take that field goal regardless. I don't care if the other team is quarterbacked by Kendall Hinton and the entire quarterback room couldn't play and they weren't even allowed to elevate their receivers coach to quarterback. Like, you take the record. That is an NFL record. That's never not going to bother me. But yeah, that's to go back to the original point. I think that's the biggest crux is, can the defense stay consistent? Because we know what we're going to get out of this offense. It's going to be very similar to the Teddy Bridgewater Broncos offense. You're going to be hoping for above 24 points. It's going to be it'll be better coordinated than Pat Shurmur coordinating the Teddy Bridgewater Broncos offenses. So I think you'll see a much better version of that style of play through a Sean Payton offense. Whereas, what the fuck does a Pat Shurmur offense even look like? I guess we'll find out Thursday for CU.
Yeah, right. I like what you did there. We'll just transition into college football. So, like you said, CU kicks off on Thursday, and was it North Dakota State?
I think so. It sounds right.
North Dakota State University.
Is that the Trey Lance one, or is that the Trevor Siemian one?
I think that's the Trevor Siemian one.
Okay.
So I don't remember if I posed this on here. I know I did when I was working with the Final Word a couple weeks ago. I'm going to pose you a question, and I'm curious to know your feelings about this. Obviously, you're a bigger CU fan than I am anyway. So I feel like I look at CU a little different sometimes because, much like anybody else that's a fan, you still look at them with fan eyes. So I'm going to pose a question, and I just let it sit for a minute and then let me know. Do you think what Prime is doing right now with his emotions and his frustrations and his aggravations and his kicking reporters out of his press conferences now, is he letting his fear drive his emotions? Like, am I not able to do this at this level?
No, I don't think it's that at all. I think that he's tired of people smiling to his on then writing a hit piece, which on one hand, like, I understand the frustration, But on the other hand, you got to have a thicker skin than that.
Yeah.
But this is also not an unprecedented thing for plenty of coaches, especially in the college ranks, is to just not accept questions from certain reporters or certain media entities or whatever. It's one of the first times it's been this widely documented and widely reported on the fact that he refuses to answer questions from certain reporters.
Yeah.
And so far it's just Sean Keeler, right, that he won't answer questions from.
Yeah.
The CBS thing has okay. So the CBS thing is blown over, and he's not mad at CBS anymore. Or maybe he still is, but
maybe he is. He hasn't said anything yet.
Okay, so there's that. But it's like I don't like it, but I don't really care that much either. Like, it's a very big story. It's a bad look for the team for sure. But if they can back it up, if they can play well, then it's going to end up being one of those like told you so moments, but then people will kind of forget about it. So yeah, I'm just hoping that our theory from either last week or the week before that he was doing it to distract from something else isn't true. I hope that he's not making all these comments to distract from the hazing stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So as long as that doesn't come up as like, oh man, he was just trying to make us look over here while over here, there was some crazy shit going on.
Well,
but like,
about it though. I'm not defending it.
No, I know.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that, since the game was invented, there's always been that masculinity of, just that masculinity of, you're a football player, you're tough. If you can deal with our shit, then you can make the team. You're part of the team. And it happens in a lot of different areas. It happens in the military. It happens in all kinds of different things. Again, I'm not saying I agree with it or I think it should be done, but it doesn't matter what you do. You're never going to get rid of it.
I think it'll blow over. I don't think it really, especially like once the season has other storylines that come up, this stuff will hopefully fall to the wayside. Like, how many crazy fucking things has Kanye West done in his career that we have forgotten about? Because he just keeps doing more crazy shit.
That's not a fair comparison.
Did you say it's unfair or fair?
Unfair.
I don't know, man. It keeps escalating and it keeps getting. And obviously, he's at like mid 2000s Kanye right now. He's not even to the. But like that's kind of how it feels. Is the antics don't stop. And yeah, I don't think Coach Prime is going to start becoming an anti-Semite or getting addicted to whippets. But crazy. The stuff keeps happening. And so I feel like as long as the season brings forth other storylines, this won't get brought up until next off season when it'll be like, are they going to lift the ban on Sean Keeler? Are they going to let him back in? And to the national media, it's going to be, are they going to let that one guy back in and ask questions again? Because they're not going to know his name.
I don't know, dude. Prime's letting his emotions get the best of him. And I think, and that's, you look back at coaches and managers of professional teams, and the greatest of the great always have a hard time coaching because they were so elite that, like take baseball, for example. You send Mark McGwire out there to manage a baseball team, the dude's going to fall apart. But you send him out there once in a while for like a batting practice, just a bunch of dudes around the cage. He's going to help those guys, and he's going to be able to find those little things. I don't think him as an actual hitting coach was a great idea, but getting him around those guys and giving him that confidence of, I can do this, or okay, that makes sense. That makes me feel a lot better about my skills and my abilities now. Whereas, you look at somebody like Deion Sanders, that dude took a freaking helicopter from a football game to a baseball game an NFL game to a World Series game and played in both of them. I don't take away from what Deion Sanders did. He was a good baseball player. I mean, he managed to play in the NFL and the MLB just like Brian Jordan did. But I just think they have a hard time translating it to guys at our level that aren't that good. That we had to bust our asses just to make the roster. And here you are, you show up, and you're practicing in flip flops and shorts because you're just that damn good.
Well, he gets to because he's that good. That's how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I hope that he gets it figured out. And my response was going to be Mike Ditka, all-time great tight end, amazing Hall of Famer, and then goes on to be a great coach too. But great might be overstating it because he's coach of one of the greatest teams of all time. But then didn't have as much success afterwards. Definitely didn't have as much success with the Saints.
No.
Yeah, those all-time guys definitely can have more growing pains, for sure. But I feel like what's up?
Ditko was a rarity. He was a different guy.
Yeah, different style. Like he wasn't taking helicopters from practice or anything like that. Different kind of ego. A more similar comparison in terms of coaching would be Bill Parcells. Just massive ego. And still very good coach, which we haven't really seen yet from Deion. We saw some very good stuff last year. We saw some very good stuff at Jackson State, but we really need to see that continued jump. We need that defensive line, that offensive line to work, And the defensive line, I'm a lot more optimistic about than the offensive line. And then I'm not saying the offensive line is going to be bad, but the defensive line is coached by Warren Sapp and Adalius Thomas.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome. Like they got talented players to come over so they could learn from Warren Sapp and Adalius Thomas. So they're going to be trying to pump guys into the NFL and therefore having a much more potent D-line and hopefully, pass rush and defense really in general.
And that was part of the problem last year too. And
yeah, it was terrible.
I don't mean to brag, but I mean CSU broke CU. And so, part of their problem was their defensive line. And I mean, Shedeur didn't have time to do much of anything.
Yeah, the whole season. So, and they were always either behind or having to put up ridiculous amounts of points to keep up. Unless you're playing Nebraska, who apparently have the worst offense ever because they couldn't even score against CU.
Yeah. Well, and then, trying to get pressure on
Fowler Nicolosi.
Thank you. I was trying to say Nicolosi, and I just it's been a day.
It's been a day.
Nicolosi, but trying to get pressure on Nicolosi, he was pressured, but he seemed to have a cleaner jersey. And I don't know if it's because they were more focused on the fact that Shedeur was taking hits or the fact that Shedeur was taking hits and Travis Hunter had his chest plate put through his spine.
And CSU also had a running game. CU had no running game. So there were plays where Braden Fowler Nicolosi didn't have to throw. There weren't very many plays where Shedeur didn't have to throw. There was like CSU played more as a team. And CU played more as a collection of stars. And I feel like that's how they played all year.
They're an all-star team, I guess.
Yes. And they really need to find that middle ground because all of the best college teams are all-star teams. That's how you win in college. You have to do that. So they kind of got that first step. They just needed to bring it all the way home. Alabama, Georgia, those teams have been all-star teams. Florida in the mid-2000s. You look at those, Tim Tebow, Aaron Hernandez,
the peanut butter, you got your extra crunchy peanut butter with your stars.
Yeah.
A little bit of your other peanut butter that's just everybody else that keeps it all together. Your stars are your chunky pieces, and everybody else, guys, are the peanut butter that just make it peanut butter. That sounds good, actually.
I thought you were going to go with like peanut butter and jelly. I was like, no, we're not putting any other ingredients on this. We're there's not even bread. We're just going to scoop it out of the jar.
Some of that.
Nothing. I have a jar of peanut butter right here next to me.
Oh, nice.
It's actually empty. But there's a little jar of honey sitting on top of it. So yeah, I just do a little scoop and then you put a little honey on top and you're fucking set.
See, I like when I have tortillas and I'll get that peanut butter. I'll make it all extra crunchy.
Smart.
Some grape jelly. Just do a line right down the middle, and then get one of those little lunchbox bags of potato chips.
Okay.
And do an entire line down the jelly of potato chips and roll it up.
Ooh.
A little sweet, a little salty, a little potato chip. So good.
I don't know if I like the salty with the peanut butter. I can dig it though.
I love it all.
You had me until the potato chips. The potato chips I feel like go better with lunch meat sandwiches. You know, welcome back to sandwich talk here.
Doritos. Let's do Doritos in the tortilla.
That's also a good call. I just never think about like sweet tortillas in general. That's just a good idea. You know, I always want to do quesadillas or, non-sweet things. But yeah, it's like when you discover that you can put savory stuff on a waffle, the opposite. It's like this is kind of next level.
Here we go. Speaking of CSU, they're looking to be bowl eligible this year as well. And I guess they're doing they've been doing extra work trying to get themselves, as the cliche football saying goes, bigger, faster, stronger.
Harder, better, faster, stronger.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what CSU can do this year because this is the third year
Kanye West covers.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't either until I said it, and then all I heard in my head was that don't kill me. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. I didn't think about it until you said it, and I was like, oh yeah. I mean, they're going to be put to the test right away because Saturday they play the Longhorns. So they go to Tejas, and in the middle of the day, get to take on the number 4 Texas Longhorns. I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. And then they play Northern Colorado and then CU. I mean,
this is CSU. Okay.
Yeah. That first game is, I don't know if I can believe everything I see because CSU's not up to that Texas level. That's the number 4 team in the country.
Yeah. Quinn Ewers?
Yeah. And I mean, CSU made changes. They're getting progressively better. I mean, Jay Norvell's doing a great job up there of trying to make that program relevant again. I mean, nobody will ever be Sonny Lubick.
No.
But how much do you let that? I don't see them winning the number 4.
We're assuming it's a loss.
Yeah.
You're trying not to say how much do you let that loss affect you, but you just don't want to predict it right away.
Don't. I mean, I wouldn't mind eating my words, but
you got your ram-colored glasses on.
Yeah, I mean, this is the team of the country.
They were in the playoffs last year, and that's when the playoffs meant a whole fucking lot.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't let it affect you. You have to feel almost angry, a little bit indignant that your team is the tune-up game for Texas.
Yeah.
Your team is better than that. It is not yet at the level of Texas.
Yeah.
But it is definitely not I think of the scene in The Longest Yard, the Adam Sandler one, because the other one is kind of hard to watch. And he's explaining the idea of a tune-up game to the warden. You just someone to go beat the crap out of.
Yeah.
And that's how every college football team starts off their season. And it's just so then every time you see the game one, last year CU had TCU. And it was well, who's the tune-up game for who now? Because TCU just went to the fucking national championship. The CU over here, just had the biggest recruiting class ever. And then it turns out CU was the much better team. It also turned out that it didn't matter because neither team was that good. But yeah, that's how I would take it. Is like you can't lose.
Yeah.
If you win, holy fucking shit. CSU just beat Texas. They might get ranked pretty early on.
And they were getting pretty close last year.
Yeah, and Air Force got ranked because they were undefeated, so they had to be eventually.
Air Force.
It was at like 25, and then obviously they lost their chances. But yeah, that's one that it's kind of like how we thought about Bo Nix. If he can show up and just do well against Seattle, you have hope. You're not expecting a win. You will take a win, but you really are just hoping for hope. That's the plan. So you kind of just take that with a grain of salt. Hope you don't look terrible.
So
try to learn from it and don't get anybody hurt.
So basically, we're in the Millennium Falcon right now going through that asteroid field.
Yeah, that's right, kid. Don't get cocky. It's a different scene, but still.
But no, it fit though. Yeah, because you go as CSU, you go from playing the Longhorns, and then the next week you're playing Northern Colorado.
Yeah, that's almost like the tune-up game for CSU. Like,
yeah,
it's like they had to be the tune-up game for somebody else in order to get their tune-up game.
Yeah.
Is Ed McCaffrey still coaching UNC?
Oh no.
No? Okay.
Oh, that experiment died. Yeah, that died a few years ago.
He was doing it, I know, 2 or 3 years ago. I think 2. He was coaching them the same year that Carl Durrell was coaching CU. So right before Prime got here.
Okay. Yeah, they have Ed Lamb as their head coach now.
Sweet, my guy. He's on the Lamb.
I mean, it was kind of there. So, I mean,
is he related to CD Lamb?
Probably not. I feel like
because Colorado Christian University is coached by Ben Simmons' brother. So.
2022, the Bears announced the hiring of Ed Lamb on December 6, 2022, replacing Ed McCaffrey, who went 6-16 in 2 seasons.
Yeah, no wonder he got replaced.
I have a hard time believing Eddie Mack is like higher than a high school coach. I can see him as a high school coach. He's got that. He just has that personality, but it doesn't. I don't think it translates into college.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it too, and especially at a small school like UNC, where you're not going to get players, you're not going to get the crazy talent. Like you have to have a system. You have to have.
You have to recruit here, and you have to be smart about it.
Yeah, you have to have an entire way of doing things. You have to be able to either build around your players or just find players that fit your system. I think back to remember the Titans when Denzel is explaining his offense to Will Patton, the former coach. He's like, "Here's my offense. I run 6 plays. Just give them time; they always work." I don't know that Ed McCaffrey has that. Or he is the 6 plays guy going to college. Either way, like and he's maybe my favorite Bronco. Like, hold on.
Uh-oh. Show and tell sidekick. I hope you brought whatever you're going to show and tell with.
As I almost fall down. I have a box of Ed's End Zone O's. Right? It is. This is authentic. Like these are petrified right now.
Have you had him sign that?
Someday I was going to. When I went to the coaches thing with Joe and Alex, I was going to have him sign it, but he wasn't there.
What a jerk! How dare he? That's funny. I forgot those things existed for a little bit.
That gave me a chance to grab my soda. But yeah, I love Ed McCaffrey. He's the block that he made on a Packers linebacker. I forget exactly who it was. And he fucking points down. Dude, it was so good. Do it in kicker pads. Just pancaking a dude.
Yeah.
During the Howard Griffith fullback touchdown.
Yeah.
Like That's the epitome of old school football right there.
Yeah.
Like a fucking not super athletic receiver just pancaking a dude, pointing down on him on a fullback touchdown.
That was
football
a dude
touchdown.
Without a doubt. That was a dude who knew he was winning a ring after that block.
Oh, dude, that's you can't put all that on the line and not win a ring. There's no way. Like that's, I mean, you can obviously because you've seen people do it, and it's so sad.
Yeah,
but what is it? Honestly, Andre Dyson for the Rams, just that close. Antonio Dyson, maybe, just so close. I can't remember his name.
Antonio sounds better.
Yeah, maybe I'm confusing it with Andre Rison, and so I'm saying it wrong because I'm pretty sure
that's what I thought you were talking about for a second. I was like,
I'm pretty sure it's Dyson was his last name. Anyway, CSU. That's going to be one that you're going to have to wait to really see how it's going to look. It's going to take a few weeks, unless they beat Texas week 1. Then holy shit. If they get that upset, like, if they beat their proverbial Florida State, who just lost was it in Ireland? I want to say, didn't they fly to Ireland to lose their first game, Florida State?
I think so. Yeah.
Like that's crazy. So yeah, as long as if that happens, you're good. Your fucking season's over. Super Bowl's won. We can retire. Rams are great, but it's going to take a while for it to really show itself, for them to show whether they're going to be. And it's kind of a shame because Braden Fala-Nicolosi is an NFL quarterback. Like, he will be a draft pick. He may not go in as a starter. He may get picked in like the 5th, 6th round.
I was going to say he's a sleeper pick. He's going to end up getting picked like 4, 5, 6th round deep, and someone's going to stumble upon something lucky.
They might. Or it might be like what all the CU fans were saying about Steven Montez and Sefo Lufau. Sadly, we all love those guys, but at the end of the day, NFL's different.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Well, we don't have a victory formation tonight. I could still play the song if you want, but that's the Colin is out and about, or as the Canadians would say, oot and a boot.
Thank you. I was going to say oot and a boot, but I was sipping.
He's out in New York. He went to the Rockies-Yankees game today. Got himself a replica 2009 World Series ring. I was a little upset because yesterday was Old Timers Day, and I think that would have been more important. But he had family plans, so I'll allow it this time. But we'll definitely get an update from him about the Jersey Shore and the 2 slices of pizza that he ate.
Like the referee from Celebrity Deathmatch. I'll allow it.
Mills Lane.
I'll allow it.
My biggest question is, did he have the ultimate Yankee Stadium meal? So they sell
maybe
a chicken tenders meal that is basically your cup, and on top they put like this little bowl with fries and chicken tenders. It's probably about other hand. I mean, it's pretty thick.
Okay.
Chicken tenders, and it sits on top of your cup. So your straw pokes through the hole in the bowl, and so you can just sit there and sip and eat. Sip and eat. And I need to go have this.
It's like, do you see that episode of Drake and Josh when their sister invents the popcorn bucket that also has the soda receptacle underneath with the straw and then a little thing on the side for candy? It's it's the greatest thing in the world. Like that's it. They took that and they made it. I've seen I've seen Stoner Ingenuity where they have it's a cereal bowl. And what is it? There's a bowl on the side of the cereal bowl that you put your weed in there, and then you spark it, and it bubbles the milk in your cereal bowl. I think no, because then it'd be gross.
Yeah, that sounds.
I think it's just got a little bubbler inside of it. But then there's a straw coming up out of the bottom, so you can sip some milk, so that you get rid of the cotton mouth. It's it's a separate bubbler underneath. That's what it is. But people have been doing this for the past few years or so. But I don't know if anyone's done it in a commercial setting, like a movie theater or in a ballpark. That's pretty fucking sweet.
Right.
The problem is you can't really drink beer out of a straw.
No, but I mean, they have Pepsi there. If I can get a good Mountain Dew, chicken tenders and fries. I'm happy.
For sure. That's it. Yeah. And, and Colin's not going to, well, actually, Colin would get a non-alcoholic beer, so that's not true. Colin will have absolutely had a beer. But yeah, I don't know. That sounds pretty great. I feel like for it to be the ultimate stadium meal, though, like some of those ballparks, especially, they have some gourmet, like really high quality shit.
They have, so Yankee Stadium has what's called NYY Steak, and it's an actual steakhouse in Yankee Stadium, and they dry age their steaks. And so, like, they got the big case out front that's got all the steaks they're dry aging right at that time. And I mean, these cuts. And
that's better. That's already better. Like, I'm sorry, Colin got the best stadium food receptacle. But the best ballpark meal is that steak, or there's some crazy shit that I've seen.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and that's kind of becoming the thing too with all these ballparks, and that's part of what I love about it too. Is you've got distilleries, you've got breweries, you've got just restaurants that are being built into these ballparks. So even during the off season, you can go down to the Blue Moon over in Coors Field and just walk in and have a couple beers, wander around downtown, and go watch the Christmas lights or whatever. I'm liking how they're including some of that stuff into these ballparks now to make it a year-round kind of thing. Because back in the day, it was just, here's your stadium from March to October, and then after that it's just closed and shuttered. And I don't know, there's something about like walking into the Blue Moon and looking out there and the field's just covered in snow, and just, I don't know. I love baseball.
When you said Christmas lights, I was going to make fun of you. I was like, Nick, they don't have baseball in Christmas.
It's my sentence.
Sometimes it's better to interrupt somebody when you know they're going to explain themselves and just make fun of them anyway.
Right?
Stop them from explaining themselves and make fun of them.
You're dumb. No baseball and snow.
Yeah, there's no crying or snow in baseball.
That's a lie. I was at the snow delay when the Yankees or the Mets played the Rockies. This is probably about 10 years ago now.
Okay.
They were so we got snowed out the night before because it was like coming down that night. And they're like, the Mets and the Rockies are going to play doubleheader. And so one of my best friends and I, we had tickets, and we're like, let's go to the snow game. Let's just go. We already have the tickets anyway.
Yeah.
So we show up, and they're like, oh, it'll only be about half an hour. They just got to clear the field. And we walk in, and there's like a dozen dudes with snow shovels just walking along the track, just trying to clear the track. And they were like trying to get the heater going on the outfield to finish like thawing the rest of the outfield. Oh, dude, we waited for an hour and a half.
That's awesome. So why do they not play? Like, why do they refuse to play baseball when it rains or when it snows? Is that just like a tradition thing, or is there like an actual reason? Because I feel like
because you can't grip the ball.
Oh, okay.
I've taken a couple baseballs to the head. It's not fun. And if you can't, if that dude's throwing 98 at my melon, I ain't getting in that box, especially if you can't control it.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Because otherwise, like, they run in football. They play that in the snow and the rain. What's the difference? Yeah, that makes sense. The baseball itself.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you can catch a football in the snow, but yeah, the football's not going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Slightly different.
Well, just to give you guys a preview of next week. I mean, we had a kind of a quick show tonight, just me and Colin, or me and Joe. Colin will be back next week.
Just me and Connor.
Sorry. Just me and the homeless guy. Obviously, we're going to go over one more time our previous predictions that we still have. I have the Broncos winning 7. Joe has them winning 6, and Colin has them winning 2.
That's right. He only picked 2. That's just Colin hyperbolizing his take.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. So we're going to go over that. We'll probably look into CSU as well. Get some predictions for those teams as well.
That'll be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it still. Just Broncos Steelers. Like Russell Wilson played well. Mike Tomlin pulled him early. He also said that he felt nervous with Justin Fields in the game too, so he may still be leaning towards Fields. But I don't know, man. It looks kind of like they're gonna go with Wilson for the first week, hopefully too. So I can't wait.
It's my last week to read my little draft books before we do our draft next Monday.
Yep. I'm thinking the same thing. The dude that I did a little one-time sign-up deal for, apparently you can't do it again this year. So now I'm considering Patreon, maybe. I don't know about that. But yeah, the dude I watch on YouTube that does some good just analysis stuff, and he had an underdog fantasy. $10 you get a year's worth of rankings. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then every week, he had rankings emailed to my thing, and I didn't actually use a ton of them, but it's a great frame of reference to have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as much as you want to try and watch every game and every player, even on your roster, sometimes it just gets too convoluted. Sometimes you get so wrapped up in other things.
Oh yeah, this is his job. He does this. He's in hundreds, I don't know about hundreds, but maybe 100 leagues. Guy does a whole bunch, and he's not one of those angry YouTube people. That's the stupid thumbnail.
Yeah.
That always has a white outline around a green screen, and they're always making the same stupid face. Yeah, or just
yeah,
dude. Honestly, me and Colin should take pictures doing that for some sort of thumbnail.
Do the cliche thumbnails.
Yeah, but we should just do one though, and never change it. Just make it really obnoxious.
That would be, we might have
to take 2 or 3 pictures of each of us doing dumb faces and have Alex just put them all into one thumbnail. This is 3 thumbnails worth of stuff. We don't care.
I like that. Yeah, we have to talk about that.
This seems like fun.
We'll definitely go over the win-losses that we expect for these 3 teams. I mean, if the Rockies do something, they're still winning. They're not. I know. And again,
really?
I mean, they took one from the Yankees yesterday. They were doing pretty well until the bullpen came in and then gave up back to back jacks. Actually, no, I think it was just back to back.
That's still bad.
Then Judge, then Stanton. Yeah, they gave up 3 in a row, and about that time the Yankees kind of took off.
Judge is winning.
51 home runs. I'm pretty sure he will be the AL MVP. I don't see. I mean, unless Soto has some run in him, I think he's going to take the MVP this year.
I love that they're both Yankees that you chose, even though that probably actually is the MVP race because it's Soto and Judge. It's just funny that I get to make fun of you for being a Yankees homer. Oh, what? You can't pick somebody else who's not do my Colin impression. Well, what? You can't pick a non-Yankee to be the MVP?
If it was, dude, it would probably be Bobby Witt Jr. And I was around the All-Star game. I think I was talking to my mom and dad, and I told them, I'm like, he's the shortstop for Kansas City. And I told him if it wasn't for those pesky Soto and Judge guys, we'd probably be talking about Witt as maybe being the AL MVP.
If it wasn't for those damn Yankees.
What's that?
If it wasn't for those damn Yankees,
I know. Damn Yankees. I'm sitting on top of the AL East again, finally. Thank God. They just got to figure out their pitching now.
So who's in the AL East that was ahead of the Yankees?
Baltimore.
Oh, yeah. They've been good.
Baltimore's a young, good team.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
They just can't – they haven't been able to maintain it yet, so we'll see. Definitely a wild card team. But, yeah.
It's part of growing up. You learn how to maintain.
Yep. But
Ooh, there you go. There's the outro.
I forgot it. That's the volume now, so it just jumped in right away. Hey, here's your song.
There you go. Luckily it's a chill song, so it kind of gives you a fade in without actually having a fade in.
Yeah. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Michael Spillin, and everybody over at E5280sports.com for hosting us. Make sure to check out our sponsor, Pikes Peak Sports Cards. Colin, we missed you, but we really didn't because I didn't have to yell tonight. Joe probably misses you because you didn't get a laugh tonight.
I mean, you can always yell though. It's always fun.
Yeah, but it's only I only like to do it.
I'll try to piss you off more next time that it's just you. No, honestly, I'll just try to piss you off next time Colin's here anyway.
For Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. This has been Undrafted Uncensored. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Tell your friends, tell your moms, tell your mom's friends, tell your dads.
Tell Zach Wilson's mom.
Yeah. Thanks everybody once again. We love you guys, and until next week, stay tuned to our socials. We'll let you know next show. Bye. Love you.